Okay, so we're gonna walk down through the shutdown procedure for torches. Now, as an HVAC service tech, these torches are gonna be in your truck, riding around with you, and so you want them to be stored as safely as possible. So the very first thing we wanna make sure to do is to close our tanks. So I'm gonna close my oxygen tank all the way, and I'm gonna close the acetylene. And again, I left the wrench on, so I only have to turn it a quarter turn, make sure it's snug, take the wrench off. Now, my tanks are shut. There's still pressure showing on all 4 gauges, and after we've shut the tanks, we want to get that pressure off. So I'm just going to open up my oxygen, and I'm going to bleed the pressure off. And then I'm going to open up my acetylene and bleed the pressure off, and then close them both back down. Now there is no pressure showing on the gauges whatsoever. So no oxygen pressure showing, no acetylene pressure showing. So with no pressure showing, to get ready for my next startup, I'm going to loosen up these thumb screws until they just feel a little loose. So you can feel the tension come off of them. If you screw them out too far, they will fall out, and then you have to be very careful threading them back in. So tanks are off, gauges are at 0, thumb screws are loose, and then the last thing we need to do is roll up the hoses. So we're going to very neatly roll these hoses up, and we're going to tuck them right over the tanks and make sure that when we roll them up, the hoses aren't able to drag on the ground. And it takes a little bit of work to roll them up nicely. But you've got to realize one of these torch sets, they can be anywhere from like $400 to $600. So it's a tool that you want to take care of. So now the torch set is rolled up, the hoses are rolled up nicely, the gauges are all at 0, the thumb screws are loose. This set is ready to be stored on your work truck for the next time you need to use it. So we really want to make sure that when we're done, this is exactly what our torch sets look like, and then we'll store them back away in the lab. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to restart this torch set. So the first thing I'm going to do is take the hose off and get it stretched out and get any of the twists out of it. The next step after I've got the twists out is going to be to open the tanks. So I open the oxygen tank all the way. I'm going to reach over, open the acetylene tank, quarter turn. Going to open my oxygen on my torch. Tighten my thumb screw in until I get to 10 psi. Close it, open my acetylene, tighten my thumb screw in until I get to 5 to 7 psi. Close it, and now should be ready to light. Oops, my flame isn't touching. Back it down, now it's touching. Adjust it to a light smoke, turn my oxygen on until I've got a nice neutral flame, and now I'm ready to braze. To shut it off, I'm going to shut my fuel off and then my oxygen. Now when you're working with a torch, you want to typically make sure that it's laid down in a way that the tip of the torch isn't somewhere where someone's going to bump it. So maybe you hang it, maybe you lay it with the tip facing up, put it on metal, something like that. Remember that tip will be hot, and so we want to avoid anything that could potentially start a fire or burn someone. So, procedure for shutting it down again: shut the tanks, release the pressure from all 4 gauges, loosen the thumb screws, and then roll the hose up neatly. Okay.